Hi everybody, Caden Burton here at BrickFair Chantilly 2025. We're going to take a look at a vignette collaboration between me and some close friends. First one that we're going to be taking a look at is the Harpers Ferry Union Naval Battery. So all the ones that we're going to see from me are part of a collaborative display for a show at the Marine Corps Museum here in a couple weeks, depicting the U.S. Marines throughout history. So this is the Union Naval Battery positioned atop Maryland Heights across from Harpers Ferry that in 1862 was defended by a detachment of Marines and sailors. And it eventually was kind of thwarted during the Confederate attacks in the famous Valley Campaign in spring of 1862, but was then reutilized later in the war, eventually for an ammunition depot.
One of the unique parts of this is kind of the brick-built artillery that you've got here, and a couple different examples.
Yep, so we've got the 9-inch Dahlgren gun there, and then the other cannons are probably more common, like 10-pounder Parrott rifle cannon style. And then the angularity of this build was really interesting to play with the wedge plates to kind of get an unnatural looking.
What did you use for the minifigs?
So those are the Brickmania sticker packs, and then just a utilization of other dark blue parts to be able to facilitate the kind of simpleton Union uniforms at the time.
This brings us to our next one here.
So this one is going to be the kind of generic First World War build. This one actually really I wanted to do a trench dugout. So the cutaway in the corner really lets you see kind of the British officer down there with the table, chair, his bedding, some of his other kit and gear. But I also really wanted to reuse the tam o'shanter and kilts that I have from the CMF figures from the Christmas truce build I did. So I have some Scottish Highland infantry is there as well. But really just kind of depicting a standard early war trench scene.
Some nice kind of rock work, studs down on top, just a variety of techniques to get all those angles in there.
For sure, playing with that, and then also the kind of changing in color on the edges, again using some of that friction with the cheese slopes to create a more natural looking edge. Yep. So the next one we're looking at, the next couple all came from Brickwarp, making some really awesome Pacific War minifigures. So these were all Bougainville 1943 frogskin camo figures that I really wanted to utilize. So this is a standard kind of Marine patrol who've entangled with some Japanese forces and are basically clearing them out. Playing with some really cool foliage techniques here, as well as getting that kind of unnatural edge, playing with the snot techniques there are.
And the trees are really complex there. How precarious is that leaf design?
It's not too bad. It's using the Lego Lifesaver like toilet seat piece. You put them on the Travis brick or the brick with studs on all sides. You can clip the old palm leaves to them. I want to get the pieces in brown so that it's a little less obvious, because right now they're all in white, but doing that and putting some flex tube down to be able to do the upside down bush, it really captures a really nice effect for the palm trees. And then the next one we have is essentially somewhere on Peloo Airfield. You've got a Type 95 Hago tank being taken out by a Marine bazooka team. Again, some more Brickwarp figures. They released a special Pacific Bazooka demolitions team, and I wanted to do something utilizing the tank I've had built for a couple of years. So playing again more into that Pacific stuff that I'm super used to doing. Playing with the angle of the tank tracks, using those reddish-brown grill tiles to give the effect of the tank rolling through.
And some viewers might notice the arms that are very unique there. So where did those come from?
So those arms are from a company called Crazy Bricks. They were able to do an entire batch in the sand green for me to use on not only these builds, but on Hacksaw Ridge as well. So this one is probably the most famous picture that's come out of World War II. This is the second flag raising on Iwo Jima. So he released all 6 of the guys who raised the flag, but he also released Bill Gnaust and Joe Rosenthal, who were the videographer and photographer who actually took the picture and made who had the footage from it. So behind it you have all the named guys who did it. I really wanted to just capture that, this year being the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima. The next one down, again, this one came from him doing the flamethrower operator. So this one was a lot of playing with the geometry to get the 45 degrees in the bunker, kind of playing into that hexagonal concrete blockhouse type style fortification that was pretty common on Iwo Jima. This one you'll notice also has the black kind of volcanic ash sands that are frequent to Okinawa, and it was a really different kind of approach to doing the landscape than I'm used to with dark tan, but I think it accented very well, and obviously we have the flamethrower burning out what's left of the bunker.
Yeah, I love the detail on that flamethrower pack on the back of the minifig.
So the flamethrower, I believe, was the newest version of the Brick Arms molded flamethrower.
Fantastic.
So the next one is probably one of the only few non-Pacific ones that we have. This is Airborne staging in New Pottery, England in 1944. So this is kind of leading up to the Airborne drops into Normandy. So you've got not only the British Bofors gun crew and some officers around, but you have the hard stand and all of the Airborne troops getting all their kit and gear sorted out before they made the big jump.
Yeah, I just like the logistics and planning operation side of this one, so lots of fun details in there.
Yeah, I really wanted to use the Airborne figures that I've had for quite a while, and being able to kind of play with the idea of the tarp and having them all of their equipment laid out, slowly getting all their stuff on and all the different equipment they'd have, all the crates of ammunition and rations and everything, just kind of proving the point of how much really went into that invasion.
Okay, and then we have some other builders involved here, but you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your scenes.
Yeah, hi, my name's Rob, or Rob's World War II Bricks on Instagram, and this is my World War II scene of an M36 extraction going through France. So I've always been into history, and through Lego I love building different historical scenes, mostly World War II, and so this year I wanted, I had built this tank and stuff earlier in the year, and I really wanted to show it off, so I decided to build, a building based off of French architecture and kind of just bring it out and show it to everybody.
What were some of your kind of elements that you used in that building, kind of some of the design elements there?
A lot of snot bricks, things like that, kind of just, to give it different texture and stuff like that, and then using tile and stuff and sliding them around just to get a little bit of greebling and all that. Definitely, with a lot of newer bricks coming out, like the D-snots and different things, it could be a lot more, but it definitely, figuring out those different angles and how to stack bricks to get the different textures and stuff is always fun to figure out.
Thank you, great work. We got our next builder. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Colton Anderson, and my Instagram is DRC, and just put as many threes as possible. I wish I was kidding, but that's what it is. And what I got is North Africa of the SAS, just waiting for the night to settle in so they could do their raids on German air bases or Axis air bases.
And I like your approach with kind of the base here where you've got the bricks kind of built out around the side.
Thank you. That was something new that I tried doing because I recently got back in, and I think it turned out fine.
What was your design with the trees? We saw some from Caden earlier. What was your approach here?
So what I ended up doing is using what's the tile called? The tile with the little clicks on the side, and then a 1x1, and then same thing as that as well. So it's a very simple build with bushes underneath it as well, and then 1x1 cones. So very simple.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
I'm back. So this is the last one that I have. This is the Vietnam era one for the Marine Corps. So these are some older Brickmania figures that I was able to pick up for this style of build. This was put together 2 days before another show earlier this year, but kind of the latter end of what I wanted to be able to display for the Marine Corps Museum. So simple Marine patrol kind of pushing through the jungles of Vietnam, tangling with some Viet Cong forces. Again, just really playing with some foliage and the palm trees again.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic, and just kind of the atmosphere in each of these scenes is really nice on a small scale.
Yep. Yeah, it's the playing with some cool things. I wanted to use the trans black to do a little bit of a water feature and playing with some of the darker earth tones that I'm not quite as used to using for the more beachy Pacific builds.
Okay. And next up here.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Herberger, and this is my more modern military build. I enjoy modern military, but I don't like doing any specific kind of build, so I look at reference photos of different buildings and stuff and try to recreate it. Here I just have a patrol, and they're about to clear the building.
And what was your approach with kind of the details on the outside with the chains and things there, and just kind of adding that?
Yeah, so I was kind of trying to experiment with kind of power lines and stuff, because I feel like a lot of builds don't include all those extra details and stuff that a normal building would normally include and stuff. So I tried to add some other things to make it less blocky and a little bit more realistic.
And I like the details of kind of the wooden pieces sticking out of the sides of the building there.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I experimented with that a little bit, and I kind of enjoy it. I feel like it adds to the build and kind of looks a little bit realistic to what you might see over there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Great work here. Thank you to you and all of the other builders involved. I appreciate it.
Thank you.